Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. It's Sean Hewitt here from the Trusted Business Community Association, and we are on the Health and Wellness Hour. We're joined by Carolyn Hobbs, who is our keynote speaker on this hour. Carolyn's Card Box and Carolyn's Chit Chat is what she does. I'm sure she's going to tell us a little bit more about it. But this is all about health and wellness. So Carolyn, I'm going to hand over to you for your keynote speech that will link what you do to the health and wellness arena.
Thank you so much, Sean. Let's make sure that I can share my screen. Right. Oh, there we go. That's worked. Jolly good. Right. So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My thanks goes to Alison for inviting me today. My name is Carolyn Hobbs of Carolyn's Card Box, and I'm your Queen of Cards. In my presentation, I hope to show you how powerful greeting cards, letters, colouring in, and writing your thoughts down are for your general mental well-being. And there we go. Right. So, greeting cards, letters, colouring in, writing your thoughts down. How can all these help? You might ask. Well, what is a card? A card actually is more than a card. It's more than a happy birthday. It's, I'm sorry. I love you. Happy birthday, of course. I'm proud of you. I'm missing you. I'm thinking of you. I care about you. Congratulations. You're important to me. And of course, sending a card in the post makes the recipient feel good. It has been, there have been experiments done where people have been sent a card in the post, and that's been compared to people having some medication. And lo and behold, receiving a card in the post actually over I don't know what the word is correctly is, but it just annihilated those that took the medication because it made the people receiving the card feel so much better. Somebody was thinking about them. You've got the context being written in a card. You've got the address being written. You've got the stamp being put on it. You've got the thought process of somebody thinking of you in the first place to be able to write you the card. So there's all those elements that, can help somebody feel a lot better in themselves. And it does work. It really does work. Yes. So a lovely card, tranquil, a dog looking out into the beach. Who doesn't like looking out onto the beach? It's serene. It calms you. That's the whole point. It calms you down. Sending you thoughts, a bouquet of flowers. If you can't send the flowers, you have a bouquet of flowers to look at. You have the words in the card. Cards can be framed, and you can take the cards out of the frame then to reread the words. You can sit with a cup of tea or a glass of wine or whatever might be your thing, your go-to thing that calms you down, and you just sort of sit there and read and, the thoughts of the person that has sent you the card in the first place. It is really very powerful. I joined something called the Mental Health Collective, and it's an organization that they connect people. So they run it in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. You register with the organization, and you then, at the beginning of the time, you obviously register with your email. So you would then get an email saying, well, you've got X amount of time to register for the next one. So spring was the latest one. And you then, once the time, I think it's about a week. And at the end of that week, you would then go onto the website and you would have a look, and you would see that you would be connected with somebody. You have their Christian name and their address. And so you can send what you like. You can send a card like I sell, or you can make a card, or you can make a card and send something like some packets of tea for somebody to sit down and read the card that they've been sent. In the past, I've been sent tea bags. I've been sent lovely homemade cards. I've been sent a box to make some brownies. All sorts people send in the post. And it's just connecting with strangers, writing to them so they're being thought about. It's a great scheme. I think it only goes ahead in the UK, but there may be other things abroad that are similar. But it really is a very good thing to do. And it's just sending a card to somebody in the first place. So their details are there at the bottom. I don't know if you'd like to maybe take a note. So it's obviously https:// and facebook.com Mental Health Collective UK. And there's all sorts of details on the website. Yes, it's a great scheme. So do think about that. It's been great. I've been doing it for at least 5 years or so, and I've had some lovely things in the post, some lovely cards and things in the post. So I've lost my mouse. There we go. So just a note to say, you don't have to say happy birthday. You don't have to say anything other than, well, I was thinking of you, and I'm just writing this note to just tell you that. And there's nothing better. Really is nothing better. And I think Sean can concur with that. So any nature card can be sent to anybody, calming and therapeutic. And it doesn't matter whether it's a gentleman or a lady or a child, come to that. Just because it's flowers doesn't mean to say a gentleman can't be sent a card with flowers on. Okay, slightly different colours perhaps, but not the pinks and the pastel colours, but maybe something else. But it's still a calming card for somebody to receive, and just feel a bit better about themselves. You may be thinking, well, postage and the card are really just too expensive for me. And yes, the wonderful Royal Mail have just put the postage up yet again in this country. So we have and they always, which annoys me intensely, they always promote first class post. So if somebody isn't in the know and they don't post a lot of cards or letters, they will only think that there was first class post, which is now £1.80, which to me is an utter disgrace. And there is second class post, and I'm not sure what the price of that is now, because it went up, I think, a day or so ago. So my question to you is, are they worth the cost? The person that you're sending the card to, are they worth it? And you're probably going to say, yes, they are. So then it isn't expensive, because you're giving value to somebody else, and you're giving value to yourself for actually taking the action in sending somebody a card, which, as I've keep saying, is invaluable. Now, a good idea would be getting into the habit, maybe once a month, sitting down with a lovely cuppa or maybe a glass of something a bit stronger and writing a letter to a friend that you have. The value it gives you, and especially your friends, will be absolutely invaluable. So please do try to put this into practice and see just what the value is. Perhaps do it for 3 or 4 months, just once a month, and it'd be lovely, if your friend hasn't heard from you in a little while, to receive a letter through the post. It hits hits people in the right places. Writing notes and thoughts for your well-being and mental health. A lovely notebook can be used to to get those thoughts down on paper, whether you're at home or out and about. So it could be a large notepad, a notebook, when you're at home, and if you have a little one, pocket-sized one, and if you really feel, of sorts when you're out, you can just sort of sit down on a wall or sit in a cafe and just write some thoughts down, which, will help get it out on paper. It gets it out of you. They often say when you go to counselling or some trauma places that I've heard of, they say if you write things down, it gets it out. It's written, so and sometimes too, maybe dictate it. If you're not good at writing, you can always dictate it. So you're actually saying it out. It's getting it out. So it's helping you in that way. So this is a design of a notebook that I used to sell. I have one left in stock, two left in stock, sadly, but it was just a wonderful card. It was a card as well as a notebook by an amazing artist. So you can just keep it, some notes for yourself, in a drawer that you can hide if you don't want people to find it. Family, you can just find a hiding place where you can sort of slide a notebook in and keep your thoughts there. How can colouring in help? Well, let's see. Colouring in, it sort of takes you away from what you generally do every day. It doesn't have to be as complex as the colouring in item that I have posted there. It can be very simple. It can be doodling. It can be anything. It just takes you away from the thoughts that perhaps you don't want to be having, and you just sort of go into another world of colouring in and colour and, some nice time with perhaps a cup or a mug of hot chocolate or whatever it might be. It just takes you away and it gives you another journey, another route to get the frustrations and things that perhaps you don't want to be thinking about out. And that ends my presentation. I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time to listen. And does anybody have any questions at all?
That's marvellous, Carolyn. If you could unshare so we can see everybody on the screen, that would be marvellous. If you could stop sharing your screen. Fantastic. Does anybody wish to put their hand up and come forward and ask Carolyn a question? Yeah, Kathy Weaver has put your hand up. Hang on a minute, Kathy. Let me just add you to the spotlight. There you go, Kathy. Over to you.
Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Carolyn, and thank you for that. That was super informative. Do you have a question, an actual card or two that actually sticks in your mind as far as somebody asked you a question about how to send a card, what's the benefit, and then they created one or you created it for them? Do you have a specific memory that you can think of right off the bat that was especially significant for you and certainly for them?
I think the card that stands out more, I don't design the cards. I don't have a creative bone in my body. But the card that stands out was the card that was on that notebook.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Yes, so and breathe. And there is another card also that it says it's okay to be not okay. And
That's
it's
awesome.
quite powerful. Yes, quite
It certainly
powerful.
is. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you for asking that question, Kathy. That's lovely of you. I'm going to remove you from the spotlight and I'm going to bring Bethan, who's got her hand up. Bethan, over to you.
Hello, Bethan.
Hello. Thank you for that. I loved it. I love having cards and I also took your advice the other day when I went to events and giving the cards. The notebook as well, I think, is very, very powerful. And I'm running out of notebooks and I'm writing down and thinking, I need to get the things because I need to have them here. And I think that putting your thoughts down is so important for our mental well-being and that. And I love the whole presentation and that. The whole thing was just so beautiful.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Bethan. That was lovely. Thank you very much. Anybody else got any other questions at all? put your virtual hand up because I won't be able to see you if I'm flicking backwards and forwards. I'll oh, here we go. Kathy's back. Kathy's back. She's back again. Hang on. There's a song in there somewhere. Let's add you to the spotlight. There you go, Kathy. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Kathy's back, but I did want to mention, Carolyn, you didn't talk much about your chit chat on that particular presentation. And do you incorporate Carolyn's chit chat into your card business as well to let people know about the greeting cards that you offer?
I don't actually. I tend to keep them a bit separate because I think the sort of keep the differentiation between the chit chat and also the cards, and I think they have two meanings. So you've got a general conversation, as you well know. You've been on my chit chat, and as have a few others in the room. So it's a little bit different, I think, to the well-being, but well-being, yes, it can be good because you're having a conversation about something. So yes, that is a very good point. But I do just keep them a bit separate because, the crossover, it can be, but I hadn't thought of that necessarily to combine the two. So maybe a thought for future. Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Great question, actually. Very, very good question, which has prompted me to have a question now. So I'll put my little hand up just to make sure that I'm doing it. I'm also doing what I'm asking everybody else to do. So let me just add myself to spotlight. Right, okay. I'll lower my hand now. Carolyn, lovely presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And it is, I must admit, from an observational point of view, first and foremostly, the power of receiving something. The power of receiving a handwritten card or letter or whatever it may be sent through the post is significantly different from receiving an email or a WhatsApp message. Because it means that the person who sent it has taken the time out to actually really home in on focusing on you and or the recipient, who that may be. So I'm fully supportive of the fact that things are so easy nowadays that we can just send a message, and that's great, and it is great. I can remember picking the phone up. It cost me a fortune. I didn't actually think about it. But, just me being me. I could have WhatsApped called the person, and it saved me a fortune, but I didn't. And there was a lady who's an honorary member of this association for a long, long time, and she hadn't been very well, and that was BJ Stevens. And I can remember picking the phone up to her and phoned her landline on my mobile. An hour later, we were still chatting. The month
I bet that was expensive.
The month later, it was about my just that call was nearly £200.
Oh no!
And I went, but you know what? It was an expensive call, but at the time, it wasn't about the money, and I didn't think about it. I could have WhatsApp called her, and we could have had exactly the same conversation over that. But when she picked the phone up, just like a card, this is where I'm saying this is the impact it has. She was like, oh my word, I can't believe you phoned my landline. Oh wow. That was, you could hear it in her voice just how humble and excited she was just to receive something. So the card has a massive part to play in getting the personal touch and the personal message across, because we've all got all the tools and everything else that we can reach out, email, WhatsApp, you name it, we can do all of that. Messenger, you name it, everything's out there. But to sit down and take the time out is something I think is really good. The thing that sparks me after Kathy asked the question about do you incorporate the chit chat into, and the question was, do you talk about your cards in the chit chat? Well, I know from personal experience, and obviously Kathy does as well, because we've both been on your chit chat, that it's not about work. It's about having a conversation just to get to know each other and everybody, and obviously others listening in get to know those people. But I wonder how much of an impact Carolyn's chit chat could have in the health and wellness space, because as you two men quite rightly said, writing it down, getting it out, talking about things. I wonder if there's a space in the health and wellness sector for Carolyn's chit chat in a health and wellness environment to talk about things, because you are going deep and you're diving underneath the skin of every individual when you're talking to them. Of course, it is about positivity, and it's all about explaining who's who and just having a good general conversation. But I just wonder how powerful the cards and the chit chat could work together. Just a thought.
Yes, it's just a thought. Yes, certainly. Yes, it was a great question, Kathy.
It was, and thank you, Kathy, because it sparked me then thinking along those lines. So thank you for enlightening my brain as well to start clicking into action. But yeah, absolutely fantastic question. Bethan, I'm going to take myself off of here and bring Bethan back up.
Yeah, just one of the things that I did when my mum was in hospital, and I still got them in the kitchen and upstairs, is my mum would send me cards, but I wrote my mum a card every single day or every other day, and she would rip them up and I'd bring it back and that, but I would read them to her every day and that, and I would give the people in her things these little cards that I'd made and that, so they and I take them in the afternoon, and then they would remember the next day and say, oh, we've had a card and that, and just that little thing was so important. And I think the other thing is I was sort of my own cards upstairs today, and I've got loads that I've kept over the years from friends. Some are not even here now, but I think that's something, and people think you're sentimental, but I think for people's mental well-being, there is a big slot absolutely for you out there.
Fantastic, and
Thank you, Bethan.
Totally agree. On that note, I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for obviously listening into the presentation from Carolyn Hobbs. Carolyn Hobbs, I'd like to thank you personally for a wonderful presentation, and
thank you very much.
Certainly spurred some phenomenal conversations and some sort of eye-opening opportunities for people to start thinking about the power of obviously connection, and the power of connection in a health and wellness space is a key element of keeping people mentally aspired and mentally well. Thank you so much. We are going to go into breakout rooms. Ian Reid, I'm going to just finish off to the world listening in on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Health and Wellness Hour from the Trusted Business Community. You've been listening to Carolyn Hobbs of Carolyn's Card Box and Carolyn's Chit Chat, and thanks to everybody on the call.